Hello bookworms, I'm Savanna and you're watching The Book Nook. I'm talking here today with acclaimed author of the Harry Potter series, J.K. Rowling, about the very first Harry Potter book, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Unfortunately, she isn't here with me today, however, we compromised by doing an interview via webcam. So, Mrs. Rowling, how long have you been writing?
That was a long time ago. I think I was probably 6 or so. Yeah, I think maybe 6.
How did you come up with the idea of Harry Potter?
The idea of Harry. Okay, so one day I was on a train ride and so particularly, I think it was delayed. It was probably like a 3 or 4 hour delay. And I was just sitting there and he kind of just strolled into my head. It wasn't a long thought process. It was like I just met him in real life and he was fully formed already. I knew all of his characteristics. He was Harry already.
So, he wasn't based on a real person?
No, he was never inspired by anybody. I'm sure I've met people who look like Harry in my lifetime. I've lived a long life, but I've he was never based on anyone in particular. He was just Harry.
Were there any characters in the book based on real people?
Oh, a few characters are based on people that I've met in real life. Like Ron, I guess if you're talking about people from the first book, he was based a lot on a friend of mine from school, actually, named Sean. And yeah, I took a lot of his characteristics and I put him into Ron. And also Gilderoy Lockhart, I knew a person like him. And they're both very exaggerated portrayals. They're nothing like the real person, but they were based on the real person originally.
Who's your favorite character in the first book?
Favorite characters? That's well, I hate to be bland, but I'll probably just have to go with Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Hagrid. I've loved them. They were my creations, but they were just always my favorite characters in the books.
Okay, well, how did you come up with the concept of Quidditch?
Oh, Quidditch. I think for a long time I'd been toying with the idea of a sport specifically for the Wizarding World because it made sense. And I'd been talking about it with my boyfriend and we got in a massive fight. And I went to a hotel room and I checked in. And just that night I couldn't sleep, and so I just came up with the concept of Quidditch.
Are you always scribbling down ideas for the books?
Oh, constantly. I'm constantly scribbling down notes. Actually, a couple of funny stories now. With the names for the houses, I wrote them down on the back of an airplane sick bag, actually. So I try and carry a notebook around with me so I don't end up writing things on napkins all the time because I constantly lose those. And I remember one American reporter had said to me, "So I heard that you wrote the entire first book on a napkin in a cafe," and I said, "Oh yeah, definitely. I also wrote it on tea bags. That's a little bit far-fetched, but I am constantly writing down notes, so I do try and keep a small notebook of some sort with me at all times."
So, the age-old question, what inspired Voldemort?
Oh, Voldemort. Well, Voldemort, he wasn't inspired by a specific person. I really tried to draw his characteristics from many different places because I didn't want the book to be too dark, but it couldn't be too lighthearted either. And so I find, for example, Voldemort's a half-blood, a lot like Hitler. And so that was one place where I drew him from. And I didn't want him to be a two-dimensional villain dressed in black and just the normal villain. I wanted him to have some depth, some dimension, a backstory to him. So I really tried to work on that more than anything, just trying to incorporate that in there.
Thank you so much, Miss Rowling.
Oh no, you don't need to be so formal. Just Joe's fine.
Oh, well, it's been a pleasure, Joe. So until next time, bookworms, this has been Savannah Ewers on The Book Nook.